Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. This is a 2015 150 Prado with about 90,000 Ks on it. Right, so it's about 5 years old. I just want to show you what what's the word again? That word, you know, the word that I want. A typical is the word that I was lost for that time. Simple stuff, guys, but you know, just in my head, I've got this word that I want, and when I want that word, it's got to be that word, and quite often it doesn't come to me. So that's what's going on there. And as soon as I move on, it comes to me, but it's usually too late. Anyway, I've got a bit of an earache at the moment. What's going on there? Okay, so this is stone cold. We're going to start it up. Right, beautiful. Just showing you. See what the load is. 35, 30, 29. When it's cold, it's going to be high. You can't look at things when they're cold, right? All these readings, all these parameters, and I've done videos like this before and shown you this before and said this before. These, see, there's that word again. These specifications, simple words, specification. These specifications are for when they're cold, right? So if the fuel volume is normally meant to be around 8, there's no point looking at it cold because it's 14. Now, don't get me wrong, if you do these all the time and you know what they are when they're cold, well, that can be helpful as well, because if you start it up, see, look, there's a feedback value, see number 4, it's going up minus 2.5, 2.7, 2.9, all that sort of thing. Now, some people are going to panic and replace the injectors but I've said it before in other videos. A lot of them do that. When I say a lot, you know, I haven't done percentages on that. It could be 50% of cars with new injectors or near new injectors or a new car or a new engine when they were new, sort of thing. Do that. As they're warming up, they go up high. They usually don't go past about 3. There's 3, right? Let's see. Whoa, 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 whoa. We need a new set of injectors. Quick, spend $5,000, clean out your intake. No, not necessarily. That's not ideal. So also going to listen to it, check for smoke type thing and watch what happens with that. There is a little bit of a tappy tap knock 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 there. So there you go. I'm trying to show you an example of kind of what the parameters are when they're cold. There you go. I said parameters, specifications, whatever you want to call it, right? Different words. This one could be a bit different, okay? And this is why videos are awesome, and I love the way the reality throws a spanner in the works. It's very quiet, guys, okay? So it might have been just because it is very cold here at the moment. What is it? It's about, I don't know, outside 7 degrees it says. These are diesel engines, they do make some noise, but in my opinion that's very quiet. For a cold engine, I'm not revving the nuts off it, but I'm doing what I do, putting a bit of load on it to just compare what it's like to other vehicles like this. Now, this is consistently a high reading. Now they can do that as well, right? So sit tight. That sounds really quiet to me. Now, if this has got a problem with full DLC injectors, it's almost definitely going to be caused by contamination. Did they have the injectors out at 40 or 80,000, bending the pipes, the dirt and everything getting in there, or fuel contamination? But I don't think so. Okay, this could be one of these many. So you know, we're up and down, up, down. Let's see what happens once it's at full operating temp. The main thing I wanted to show you, what we got on the screen here was most of all the important readings that I'll say that change, because there's others like that, you know, there's your timing, but they're what they are when they're cold, they're what they are when they're hot. They're even rarer that goes out, right? I'll say it again, on the latest systems, 09 onwards, it's very difficult to use diagnostic to diagnose injectors. Okay, now these are full DLCs. If they hadn't been contaminated, they'd be beautiful. I don't even want to check them. I know how good they are, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm telling you don't have to check it at all, but they are just they're just so Toyota, if you know what I mean, right? So we know what you're going to get. where with the older systems, people are confused. They're living in the dark ages, mate. They're treating these vehicles like it's an 05, 6, 7, 8, 9 HILUX or Prado, right? They're not. They're totally different system and injectors. So, well, they're not totally different injectors, but they behave totally different is what I'm trying to say. So this is a diagnostic video, so you can see what's what, and you can see that number 4, I'm just sticking around a bit longer than I'd planned. I was going to move on to warming it up, and what I want to actually do now is drive it when it's cold. So what I'm going to do is I'll monitor the situation with those numbers. You can see what it's been doing. It's probably going to continue to do the same. I'll let you know when I come back to you. All right, guys, look at that. Did you just see the 0? Anyway, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. So I've been driving the car for sort of 5 to 10 minutes. It's had a light knock that is completely abnormal. And this is when I talk in videos about it's hard to tell. You know your car better than anyone else, but you haven't got many others to compare to. I don't know your car very well, but I know I've got a lot to compare to, right? And the knock this has got, this is one of the ones that it shouldn't have. So at 90,000 Ks, if you got a knock like this, my money's on the injectors have been out and someone's clamped them down, over tightened them, they've got double seats under them, or they've contamination. There's something going on. This shouldn't happen, and it happens a lot at low Ks. When I say a lot, it's not much at low Ks. And when we've traced it back, it's always been people who worked on the car before the injector's been out. I'm going to put it down to that, because there's way too many that have done excuse me COVID-19. No, cold morning, still on 8 degrees, right? Look at that, 0. So it can be so bad. So that's the other. Now this is a perfect example why, you know, I say I'd rather not see it cold, but this is sometimes where we want to see it cold. So let's just quickly go through all the other readings and how I've demonstrated on other cars how they'll be out, how the load will be out. It won't be out on this one. Nothing else will be out. You're not really seeing anything, which is why you can't rely on diagnostics alone, all right? So around about the 14. The most common reading on the load on a 150 is 14.9 to 15.2. Now, like I said, it varies. That's an auto, 5-speed auto, the most common option in the 1KD. It doesn't mean you're not going to have 12.9. There's 12.9s and there's 13.7s and all that, right? That's fine. And sometimes they're going to go up a little bit. If your alternator duty ratio is up or something, there's something creating a bit of load, cold weather, thicker oil, whatever the case may be, you might be up around in the 16 sort of thing. If you see, probably, you know, it's very rare. If you start seeing 17s, 18s, again, combined with other symptoms, okay? So what we've done here is, this person is complaining about he said a knock. I thought he meant a knock like something loose on the car flapping around. Anyway, I just thought, oh, as soon as I'm checking it cold, I'll plug it in. Its vehicle's not even in for a diagnostic, right? It's in for getting some other work done underneath the vehicle. And I just thought, well, while it's here, I'll duty of care, plug in and do a bit of a diagnostic as soon as I'm spending time checking it out. So you get 2 for the price of 1. And look what we found. Okay, so the load's good. You can see it. I'm just see how it went 13.7. It settles down. So around the 15, and it can go 2 or 3 either side on the 150s. With everything else being okay, we're not too worried about it. What's not okay? In my opinion, beyond 7 years, 170k. If they're older than that, don't talk to me about your injectors. I've already told you need to replace them, okay? That's my position on it. You don't want to do that, then go talk to someone else, whoever's convinced you don't need to change them, okay? And good luck. Now, let's have a look at these other readings again. Let's go back to the main ones we look at. So this is a diagnostic video. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We've just turned it into a diagnostic video. Fairly important stuff. Injection volume's usually going to be around 7 or 8, and you can see that it is. The feedback values, look at it. It's on 0 again. Look at them. They're so good. I'm going to drive it a little bit more, see if it's gone quiet now. Now, what I want to tell you, I drove out with it on about 3 or 4, whatever it was at the end of the video. The whole time driving, it was around the mid-4s. That is telling me there's a problem. When I accelerated lightly between 1500 and 1600 revs at a speed of about 50 k's an hour in drive, I could hear a light knock that shouldn't be there, okay? A tappy, knocky noise type thing, right? Now look at those injection periods. The main one, look, 1 and 2 are always going to be around about that 440, 450 on these, right? So don't worry about that too much. The ones you're looking at for a problem is injection volume at the top, or main injection, or fuel volume, or it depends what scan tool, but on this one, it's your main injection amount, if you like, right? So around 7 or 8 is normal. It rarely goes out. You might see up to 9s even, it's kind of okay, but then once you go, the reason I say that's not okay in these systems is because 99.9, you don't see that happen. So if you see that happen, then good chance you got a problem somewhere, okay? And they are hard to detect the problem, which is why I'm doing the video, which is why it's important you watch these videos, right? And there's going to be more feedback on this one. I suspect contamination by removal, something to do with number 4, soon as there's, so it's not a general noise, it's a specific 1 out of 4 cylinder knock, and we've got a severe reading on number 4 when it's cold. Okay, so, and the other one that could go is the main injection period, and I'm showing you what they would normally be. And notice they do jump around a bit, but that's how much it should jump around. Okay, if it jumps around a lot more than that, you've probably got a problem. So it is hard to detect problems with these 150s on the diagnostic screen, and this time we weren't looking for it, so it's just made an awesome video, because that's rare to see something like that on one of these vehicles, specifically a 150 that's a 2015, last of the best with full DLCs with 90,000 Ks. Not the car, not the injectors, it's going to be workmanship, I just about guarantee it, okay? We'll know more if we work on the vehicle and replace the injectors at some stage. I'll know more then, and of course, you'll see more videos then. And that's why it's important to subscribe and have that bell on, and make sure you're watching the videos. Make the time if you want to know and understand your vehicle, or if you're in a workshop and you're watching to learn and you need to know about these things, there's always going to be more information. All right, guys, if you got something out of that, thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, turn that bell on, and in the comments, whatever, put a comment. But look, I just want to mention, I've been around a little while, I'm not an amateur, so sometimes there's been some comments lately, you know, I'm not a DIY that's just, you know, that, you know what I mean, I appreciate your help, but just think, you know. And the other one I've noticed is people asking questions. Okay, I'll give you an example, and it's not just one person, but we do a video on changing diff oil and talk about replacing that bottom diff plug, and we don't mention the top diff plug at all whatsoever. And then someone says, oh, what about the top one? Well, if there was something about the top one, we would have included it and told you in the video, or it would be in the next videos coming, that sort of thing, right? So generally, if there's a problem, we're going to tell you about, we're not going to tell you about the bottom one if there's a problem with the top one and not mention it. So if we don't mention it, no problem. It's the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if we don't mention it, then there's not a problem generally. So just trying to help you out there with a bit of, because I'm not going to answer that one, because I'm sort of just thinking, well, if there was a problem, I would have told you. I'm just being honest. I hope you can handle the truth. Can you handle the truth? I'm thinking, you know, if there was a problem, you know, I'd tell you that, but I'm just trying to be nice and say, so I'm trying to explain it to you. If there's a problem, you know, what about if this or that? Well, is there anything in other videos about it? Go watch those. And I've just showed you what the diagnostic screen looks like. This thing, it's got a problem. We're going to drive it a bit more. If there's anything else to report, I'll add it onto this video. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. See ya. All right, guys, so the last thing with this, I drove it again. It has gone quiet. The number's staying really good. So this is one of those ones where you did need it cold. So, like I said, 90% of the time at least, I'm going to get my information at warm, full operating temperature. But every now and then we do need to. So look, if you've got a problem, cold is the go. Cold is the go, but 98% of my diagnostic is going to be when the engine's warm, and not just about diagnostics. The other thing I wanted to say, just because it looked like one injector doesn't mean we're going to change one. Always change injectors in sets.